Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna learn how to make gorditas. So we're gonna make gorditas and we're gonna stuff them with cheese. So this is what we're gonna need to make our gorditas. We're gonna use three full cups of maseca, which is corn flour. So the same corn flour that you make tamales or you make tortillas, does the same thing. So we're gonna use 3 cups. So this is 1 cup, 2 cups, and then the 3rd cup. So we're gonna use 3 cups of corn flour, or maseca, we call it in Spanish. That's how they call it at the store where you buy it. It's maseca, the brand. After that, we're gonna make our flour to make our corn flour to make our gorditas. We're gonna stuff our gorditas with 4 different kinds of cheese. So here I have 1/4 cup of queso fresco. We have 1/4 cup of queso cotija, which is dry cheese, which it gives it a lot of flavor. Then we're gonna use 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese, and then 1/4 cup of shredded cheese, Mexican style. So those are the 4 cheeses we're gonna stuff our gorditas with. Some shredded all together and then mix it. And now for our gorditas, when we make them, we're gonna put salsa on them. So we're gonna do our red salsa. So I'm gonna use 4 Roma tomatoes. I'm gonna put a handful of cilantro. I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup of onion. This is half of a teaspoon of garlic salt and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And we're gonna use 3 peppers. You could use 3, you could use 6 of these peppers. They're super hot, so I'm gonna use 3 to make it a mild salsa. I'm not gonna make it a super hot salsa. But if you really want to be spicy, you could add all the chiles you want. You could add more. You could add a handful of them. But these are really spicy chiles. So you could use any chile. You could use jalapenos, you could use serrano, you could use habanero, or you could use, this is what I have in my tree. So this is what we're gonna use. I think we're gonna use 4. I'm just gonna get a little bigger one. Just 4. Because I don't want it to be super spicy. This is just gonna be a mild salsa. So we're gonna roast our tomatoes and our chiles, and then we're gonna make our red salsa, and then we're gonna get started with the masa for our gorditas. So here we're gonna turn on the skillet, and we're gonna put it at medium high, and we're gonna roast our tomatoes and then our chiles, our peppers. So we're gonna roast our peppers just a little bit so we can bring out a little bit of that flavor. So now we're gonna start making our corn flour for our gorditas. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add 1 teaspoonful of salt and half of a teaspoon of baking powder. And then make sure we mix it all around so it could go around all the flour, the corn flour. So now that we mix it well, we're gonna start to add water. So here I have 2 cups and a half of water. So see, 2 cups and a half. So we're gonna start adding, so half a cup of water and mix it around. So this is just half a cup of water. So it looks like half a cup of water is not enough. So we're gonna be adding another half. So now that we added another half of water, we're gonna mix it around. And we still need more water. So now we're gonna add another half a cup. So now we already added a cup and a half of water to our corn flour. So it's still gonna need a little bit more water because we still have flour on the bottom, corn flour. So we're gonna add half of the cup. Now we're mixing it. And it looks like it's gonna need a little bit more water because there's still some flour on the bottom. It looks like that's good enough. Because that's what you want. You know, when you have enough water, when you are moving around your dough and then it doesn't stick to your fingers like this, see, that means it's good enough with the water you gave it. So now we're just gonna mix it around. Make sure it's all incorporated with enough water and all the flours mix well. The corn flour, or the maseca we call it. So yeah, it looks like we're ready. So out of this, we're gonna make our gorditas. So now we're gonna let it sit here and rest a little bit, and then we're gonna start to get our cheese. We're gonna shred our cheese. So now we're gonna shred our cheese. So now we're gonna use, this is cotija cheese, which is dry cheese, but it has flavor. It's a little bit on the salty side, but that's why it gives it flavor. Because now we're gonna mix it with the 3 other cheeses, and I just added for flavor. So see, we already shredded the cheese. And now we're gonna go with the next cheese, which is our queso fresco, which this one's, it's not dry, it's moist cheese. So the shredding of this cheese is easy because it's moist. So see how easy it's shred. So now we mix cotija cheese with queso fresco. And now we're gonna add mozzarella cheese. If I could open it. So we're gonna add mozzarella cheese, because that's gonna melt. And then we're gonna add this Mexican style shredded cheese. So now we're gonna mix all our cheeses together, and that's what we're gonna stuff our gorditas with. So now we're gonna start to put together our gorditas. So I cut a large Ziploc bag. I cut it from the edges, and I took out the bottom of it. So now we're just gonna use this to make the gordita so it won't stick to the counter when we press it down. So see, we're gonna get around, we're gonna make it round our corn flour, our dough that we make to make our gorditas. And then in the middle, we're gonna stuff it with cheese. So see, there's cheese in it. So now we're gonna close it. So we're gonna close it. And then we're gonna start making it We're gonna squeeze it down because we don't want to make them so fat. Because then it's easier to cook while the thinner they are. They cook evenly. So see now, one gordita's already made. So see, and they're stuffed with cheese. So there we go. We have one gordita and we have about 6 of them to go. We're probably gonna make 6 or 8 out of the dough we made. So see, it's ready. It's already round, so we're gonna walk it to the stove where I already have the skillet at medium high, and we're gonna start cooking our gordita. So see, it's gonna be delicious. So we're gonna cook it on both sides, about 3 minutes on each side, and then we're gonna check on it. And we already have our roasted tomatoes here, so we're gonna make our salsa, and our peppers are already roasted. So we're gonna put that on the blender. So we're gonna start to make our salsa. So now that our tomatoes are roasted, we're gonna throw them in the blender. And then we're putting the chiles in there, the peppers. And our tomatoes. So we're gonna make our salsa. So now for our salsa, we're gonna add our onion, our cilantro, and then our garlic salt and our sea salt in there. And now we're gonna blend it, and it's gonna be delicious. So I added about a 4 cup of water. Now we're gonna cover it and we're gonna blend it. So here we already blended our salsa, and now we're gonna put it in our jar so we could put it in our gorditas once we cook them. See, it smells delicious. Now we're gonna taste it. Ooh, nice and spicy. That's a little kick to it, because I put that extra chile or pepper, the little ones. Wow. And see, here we have our gorditas cooking. So we already have 2 that we already cooked, and we cook them on both sides, and once they're all done, we're gonna cook them in the oil, a little bit of oil, just to give it a little bit of crunchiness on it. But they're delicious. Even if you have cheese right here on top, don't worry, it's gonna caramelize. It's gonna start to look like this, like cheese like this on top, and it gives it flavor. So don't worry about that, that's still good. So here we have our gorditas. So I'm gonna put a napkin to take off the extra oil that's on them. And see, now they're nice and crunchy, and we already cooked them in a little bit of oil. So now I have 4 more over here cooking on the side. So I'm just gonna turn them over so you can see. Turn off the fan. I have the fan going for the oil smell. So I'm turning them over. I make them pretty thin so they won't be that, you don't have to cook them for that long and too much oil either, because we just want to give it a little crunch in it, fry it a little bit. So see, there we go. And we have 8 delicious, beautiful gorditas ready to eat, and we're gonna try one. So here we have my cooked gorditas. So now I'm gonna try one, and they're nice and hot. I just cooked them. So I'm gonna put red sauce on mine, on top of it. And then I have some avocado, and I'm gonna put it on it too. So here we go. Now we finished making our gorditas, so now we're gonna try it. And I added red salsa and avocado that I cut into little squares, so now we're gonna try it. See, it's a gordita, it's nice and crunchy, and it's filled with cheese, so we're gonna try it. Mm. Delicious. Mm. Hmm? It's crispy. It's really thin. I make it thin so you could cook it easily. But it tastes so good because it's filled with 4 cheese. It has the queso fresco, the mozzarella, the the dry cheese, the cotija, and then it has the Mexican shredded cheese. Delicious. Hmm? Once again, I hope you like my recipe. Thank you for coming to my channel. Do the recipe, you won't regret it. It's easy.